And joining us now is Ed Klein, former editor-in-chief of the New York Times Magazine, New York Times best-selling author and author of Unlikable, The Problem with Hillary. And you can get Ed's reports, by the way, at edwardklein.com. Good to see you again,
Great
sir.
to be here.
All right, we got a lot to talk about. First of all, of course, with the funeral today for Nancy Reagan,
yes.
you know a lot about her sense for fashion.
I do. You know, my wife was the head of public relations for Ralph Lauren, and she would come home and tell me that she would spend hours on the phone with Nancy Reagan talking about fashion. Nancy loved fashion. She was an elegant woman. She loved to present herself properly. She was meticulous in how she dressed. I think it was a very clear example of how her mind worked and how she thought the First Lady should present herself.
Right, just like Ronald Reagan never not wearing a jacket in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
You hope that that's not gone forever.
I hope so.
Anyway, may she rest in peace. Okay, so let's talk about what we're facing here. Before we get to the presidential race and the Republican side, there's a story out today about Miss Hillary, and a source saying that her IT guy, Brian Pagliano, who copped a deal with the feds, partial immunity to testify or to talk to the FBI, that he's revealing server details, and he's a devastating witness, an unnamed source is telling Fox News and others.
I think this is a great first step for the FBI, the first rung to get Brian Pagliano to talk. It's sort of like talking to Al Capone's accountant,
Right.
You know? He didn't pull the trigger,
Right.
but he knows who got paid to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Brian Pagliano knows where these servers were, where the BlackBerries were, who was using them, when they were using them, when Hillary was on an airplane and she was talking to
and
a
we've
BlackBerry.
seen pictures of that, yet where there's no emails from that period.
That's right.
We'll know why, maybe.
And we also know that Hillary authored herself 104 emails
that are now classified.
Yeah, that are now classified.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's why I was disappointed Brett Baier didn't shoot back at her during that town hall. But you know, you're the Secretary of State. You have to know what's classified, and if you're writing something that's classified, don't you have to know it? You know, and when she said that all the former secretaries of state have done it, nobody shoots back at her and says, but none of them had a server.
Nobody put a server in their basement of their home.
Right.
That's right.
Crazy stuff. All right, well, we'll see what happens out of this. Now,
Yes.
if this comes down to Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, let's assume she's not indicted, let's assume Cruz can't catch Trump and he gets the delegates or however he becomes the nominee. Fictional matchup, Trump-Hillary.
Right.
I don't want to talk about polls and what those polls show at this point. I want to talk about something you said recently, that this will be the dirtiest campaign ever.
And that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
When you think about politics in America, I think of Russell Crowe in The Gladiator with, you know, he's got two swords and he lops this guy's head off. That's politics in America from Jefferson and Adams all the way up to today.
Right.
That's the way it's going to be with Hillary and Donald. They are target-rich environments.
Yes, very target-rich. But so I know that Hillary's going to play all the sound bites of Trump, you know, hemming and hawing on David Duke and saying things about women, you know, Megyn Kelly, whatever. And but I mean, Donald Trump, all indications are he shut her up about the sexism claims by bringing up Bill Clinton and the women. So he brings forward Kathleen Willey and Juanita Broderick and others who claim not only what Bill did to them, but how Hillary intimidated them.
Exactly.
He brings forth the Benghazi families, all of whom say Hillary told us it was the video, and Hillary's saying, no, I didn't. So she's calling them all liars. He brings them forth. He plays the soundbite, the audio phone call of Hillary bragging all those years ago how she got off a child rapist. I mean, I don't see anything that Hillary could really counter with that would be as effective. Maybe I know I'm partial against Hillary, but I just don't see her equalizing that.
Well, yeah, I don't think it is equalized. But, you know, Donald, we all know Donald here in New York. I mean, I've known him for 30-some-odd years. You know, while he was married to his first wife, Donald wasn't exactly the most, what should we say, careful discreet guy. I mean, he had a very interesting man about town life with a lot of women. That you can be sure that...
You think she'll bring that up?
If she has to, yes. Because, listen, you think Donald is Down and dirty.
But then
There's
he said,
no one
okay.
more down and dirty than the Clinton.
Believe me, I know. But then,
War room.
But then old Donald has to say is, yeah, that's why I was divorced. I wasn't an angel. I wasn't perfect.
that's what he will say.
But no women are going to come forward and say he sexually assaulted me. Nobody's going to come forward and say said I better shut up. I mean, she wants to open that door. It's a dangerous door.
It is a dangerous door. But then he can come back and say, look, when your husband was president, you and he were in favor of the North American Free Trade Association. You were in favor of giving China special treatment so that they can join the World Trade Organization. That lost us 1,500,000 jobs.
Yeah,
I mean, he can go on and on about that.
This is going, you know what? I can't imagine. This is going to be the soap opera of all soap operas.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
And it's going to be fun on the one hand,
Yeah.
but it's also going to be scary.
Yeah. The great Ed Klein, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, Street Talk with Nora, and then your calls at 877 Newsmax.